Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to our channel. Today our guest is Bhagavata-dharma Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Welcome. Bhagavata-dharma Prabhu is a senior devotee from Slovenia, traveling preacher, and a great scholar and speaker in the philosophy of Krishna consciousness.
Hare Krishna.
And he's now here in Bulgaria for Nrsimha Chaturdashi, giving classes, lectures. We are very happy to have him here. So, Prabhu, our topic is how you came to Krishna consciousness. Please tell us your amazing story.
It's hard to begin, actually. I was born in a Catholic Christian family. Although my father was a doctor, a scientist, and he was not religious at all. But my mother was religious, but mostly on the surface. She didn't went very deep. But nevertheless, we went to attend the mass every Sunday. But my grandmother was very deeply religious, connected with the Lord. And so I enjoyed speaking about God with her.
Oh, when you were a child?
Yes, when I was a child. I spent a lot of my time in some hills, in some small village in Slovenia with her. She lived there. Very small farm. There was one cow
Wow.
and one ox, for example, and few chickens.
Okay.
So very small farm. And during the day we used to work outside, and in the evening she was listening to Radio Vatican. Yes, Radio Vatican.
Okay. Vatican. Okay.
Yes, somehow or other we received these radio waves from Radio Vatican.
Interesting.
Yes.
I didn't know they have radio.
Yes, they have. And at that time, when she was listening to this radio, they were praying. I don't know if you have the same in Orthodox Church. Rosemary. Rosemary. This is a prayer on beads, and they pray to Holy Mary, and every 10th prayer is this Lord's Prayer. So they were praying in Latin, and she was praying in Slovene. And I was playing with some firewood or something. And she was listening to this so much that even till now I know this Holy Mary prayer in Latin.
Wow.
Yes.
Amazing. Yeah. Wow.
So and I always went to these church lessons once a week. It was not on Sunday, but during the week. And I discussed about God with this priest there. I was going to Franciscan church. It's every church is dedicated to some saint or
That's
like
why
this.
sometimes you mention in your lectures about this saint.
Saint Francis.
Yeah.
He's I believe most famous saint of Catholic religion. And yes, I was inspired by his example. But I considered myself religious, and I was growing up in Slovenia, which was a communistic country.
Okay.
So religion was somehow, we can say, abolished even by the state.
The same in Bulgaria.
Yes, the same in Bulgaria.
Yes.
So, but nevertheless, I considered myself religious. But I had a quite turbulent childhood. My father left our family when I was 10 years old. And even before, she had actually two families. One, he was married to some lady, and he had two children before he met my mother. Yes. And he had two children with my mother.
So normal in Kali Yoga. I have the same family.
You had the same family.
Yes.
So it was all the time some fight in our house, and then he left with the third one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, what to do?
So I had quite turbulent childhood, and so I became a punk from the year of 8. I was at 8 years. I was a punk.
Punk.
Yes.
Like punk.
Okay. Yes, punk. I was listening to punk. My brother brought somehow or other, I don't know where he got it, 78 it was. Yes, that was really the beginning of punk era.
Okay.
He brought the record of Sex Pistols at home.
Okay.
So I was listening to this Sex Pistols record all the time, and I considered myself a punk.
Punk Catholic.
Punk, Catholic punk. So, and of course, because of, and we moved from one small town where I had many friends. We lived in some block of flats, and there were many friends of my age. And we moved to the capital of Slovenia, to Ljubljana, and I lived in some place where only old people were living, no child. And this was really a trauma for me. Yes.
Yeah,
and I was deeply dejected and depressed, I can say, because of all this stuff, all these things. So, but I maintained my faith in Jesus and so on, although I was a punk. And I grew like this even during my teenage, and of course during this time my punk part became more prominent.
Okay, yeah, naturally.
Yes, but I still I prayed every day in the evening.
Wow.
And
not many teenagers do that.
Yes, yes. And I still went every week to the church. But during my university time, my faith started to glide down. I didn't maintain my prayers every day anymore, and so on. And because during my university time I was a little too old to maintain this punk philosophy anymore. But still I was hanging out with these people because I knew only these people. At some point I became really afraid what will happen to me. Yes, in my life, because although I was studying journalism, I was not interested in studies at all. Although I somehow or other I passed the exams, but this was not in my interest, this kind of job or anything like this.
You started because parents?
No, because I don't know, because I didn't know what to do.
Okay, yeah,
I just continued my schooling.
Yes, I understand.
I was somehow or other smart enough to pass exams, to do schools without much effort. So I just continued to do something.
Yes.
Because I didn't want to go to work.
To work, yes, okay.
So when I became afraid what will happen to me, and I really became greatly despondent and without any goal or idea what will I do with my life. And this is quite punk philosophy, no future.
Oh.
No future is punk philosophy.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So then I remember I went to a cathedral in the center of Ljubljana, and there was a picture of a saint, and there was a writing. It was said that this is a saint for people in great anxiety.
Okay. Wow.
So
Who was this saint?
I forgot the name, but I've heard sometime later that this is actually a cousin of Jesus.
Cousin of Jesus.
Cousin of Jesus.
Yes,
Wow.
yes. So
Wow.
you can Google it and
Okay, the cousin of
Google
Jesus.
it. Cousin of Jesus.
yes, cousin of Jesus. So I turned to him with no particular prayer what he should do,
Okay, yes.
but just to help me,
Yeah.
because I'm helpless. Please help me.
Nice.
And then my life turned upside down, I must say, very quickly.
Wow.
Yes. First, I quit smoking. I was smoking and drinking with these friends and so on. Then I became an extremely sportive person.
Okay. You start to run?
I start to run. I start to, and in my young age, I was training many sports. I was training swimming. I was training skiing. I was training football.
Nice.
A little bit. My father was he was a doctor, and he was also a mountain rescuer.
Oh,
Yes, so he took me to mountains many times.
nice.
We were walking a lot in the mountains, because Slovenia is also alpine country,
Uh-huh.
so we have high mountains.
We have to go.
Yes, very nice. It's like a blend of small Switzerland and small Italy.
Oh, okay. Good advertisement.
And small Austria,
Oh, okay.
because it borders Italy and Austria.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So, despite that your father was having 3 families, you still had good relationship with
Yes, yes, all children actually,
Mm.
and we knew each other. These different
Yes.
children from different families,
Yes.
and must say I spent a lot of time with my father, even though he was not living with my family. And I believe that many children that have father at home have spent less time
Yeah.
with their fathers. So my father took me when he was a doctor, and they have some doctor team, football team, and he took me with him to these football trainings and games, matches.
Yeah.
So I was quite a lot with him, I must say. But I spent more time with my grandmother. And so then I became very sportive. I started also to do triathlons. That means swimming, cycling, and running.
Wow.
And I started to run marathons,
Okay.
42 kilometers. Yes.
Nice. I cannot run too.
And then also my university studies became excellent, actually, suddenly.
Wow.
Yes,
Just one prayer. Can you
yes,
imagine?
just one prayer completely changed my life, really. And then I was studying for my diploma, and I was always in some ecological stuff and philosophical stuff and so on. And I was writing a diploma on ecological ethics.
Okay.
Actually, the title was from anthropological to ecological ethics.
Interesting.
Anthropological means that human is in the center.
Yes.
To ecocentrical ethics, then it's environment in the center. But when I studied different philosophers and saints, I realized that this title is too narrow. And then I entitled my diploma from anthropological, anthrocentrical ethics to universal ethics.
Oh,
Yes.
nice.
And I encountered again Saint Francis of Assisi. But at that time, he completely overtook my heart. This Francis of Assisi. And because he was really special saint. And then I, with all my heart, I became a seeker of God, I can say.
Wow.
Yes. And I prayed a lot, and I wanted to become actually a missionary in Catholic Church. At that time, I was already with my girlfriend, who is now my wife.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, I thought you met her in Krishna consciousness.
No. Before
Nice.
Krishna consciousness. And she's also a special personality. She was also born in some traditional Christian family without any real connection with the Lord. And she prayed to the Lord that she would get a husband with whom she could read the Bible together.
Wow,
Yes.
so nice.
So then somehow or other we came together, and then I this was even before this happened, that I completely became a seeker of God.
Mm-hmm.
Did your wife had also a rebellious period like you?
No. She was internally rebellious, but not outward.
Okay.
Yes. So then, but she followed me wherever I was focused on, because I explained everything philosophically.
Nice.
And then together we wanted to become Christian missionaries. For example, to go to Africa or
Wow.
some places like this. But you cannot just go. You have to go through some education in this regard.
Yeah.
So we went for some course for these missionaries. They call it lay missionaries. I don't know if this is the term in English. Lay missionaries, that means that you're not a priest,
Yeah.
but you are also missionary, but not from theological university or something like this. You're not consecrated as a priest and so on.
Yes.
So you're living outside, but still you're
You're preaching somehow.
you're preaching somehow in the same mood. So we went for this course. It was quite long, actually, a year or something.
In Slovenia?
In Slovenia, yes. Because we have tradition of some missionaries also in Slovenia. There was one great missionary in I don't know, 19th century or something in North America. It was Saint Paraga, Slovene. Yes, and he learned 30 plus Indian languages in Canada.
Oh, Krishna.
And he wrote this grammar of these languages, and it was really languages with extremely long words and so on. He wrote this grammar for these languages, and all these languages that he wrote grammar were preserved till this day. Other languages were lost.
Wow.
These Indian languages, and they're really grateful to this Saint Baraga. In Canada there is enormous statue of this saint.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I don't know, 10 meters high or 5 meters high, something like this, I don't know. And in modern times there is also one famous Slovenian missionary in Madagascar or somewhere, is Pedro Opeka.
Okay.
So this is tradition in Slovenia, in somehow or other, although we were a communistic country. So we also wanted to become Christian missionaries. But when we finished this schooling, this course, they said that we cannot go together because we weren't married at the time.
Oh, okay.
And we wouldn't give proper example for others. And they said, but if you marry, these places are not very beneficial to have family. So our missionary mission was finished.
Wow. And you
But
understood that in the end of your education, in this 1 year.
Yes, after
Interesting.
the year, yes, because they at the beginning they thought that maybe we will just quit after some time, and so they didn't bother about it. But when we were serious enough to finish, then they told us like this. So, but at that time I have already started to read Prabhupada's books.
How?
I received books in two different sources. First was my brother gave me a book for some birthday present.
For birthday present?
Yes.
Which book?
It was Life Comes from Life. And I believe because devotees on the street distribute books for extremely small money. I believe it was the cheapest possible present that he could find.
Good brother.
Yes. So, and yes, he just gave some change for a book, and this was a present for my brother. This was one book.
Okay.
And the other I received from my schoolmate, with whom I didn't have any contact whatsoever for a long time, but somehow or other he drove to my place. I forgot for what purpose, because after this I also didn't have any contact with him.
Okay.
And he was always in something against the law.
Against the law. Okay.
Against the law. He had, I don't know, 30 court cases or something. Wow. And he came to my place with a boot in a car, with boot full of Prabhupada's books.
Oh.
And I believe he stole them.
Oh, Krishna.
Yes.
Why you steal Prabhupada's books? It's strange.
I don't know. Maybe they were not protected somewhere, and
he
he took the opportunity to make some money.
to become book distributor.
I believe, I don't know
Yeah.
if it's true, but I know that the whole booth was Prabhupada's books.
Okay.
And he said, this is interesting stuff. And he gave me Ishopanishad.
Wow.
Yes.
Nice.
Hare Krishna.
Yes. And even in my childhood, I was very broad with this concept of spirituality. I was not only focused on Christianity, but I was very broad in this regard. I remember when I was attending to these classes, church classes, I spoke with my priest that actually all different peoples of this world are glorifying the same God, and he agreed with this idea, although we call him differently and so on. And then Saint Francis was particularly very open, and he discussed about God with Muslim people and so on. And when I received Prabhupada's books, I accepted them with this broad-minded approach. And then I realized, when I was reading Prabhupada's books, that this is our philosophy. This is philosophy of Jesus Christ. It's not in the slightest way different.
Okay.
Yes. And because of this, I took them as authoritative books.
Okay.
Yes. And not that just this teaching was not in the slightest way different than Jesus's teaching, but I, because of Prabhupada's preaching, I could more easily understand Jesus, because Jesus has some strange thoughts and thought-provoking thoughts that are not easily to understand.
I have the same realization.
Yes,
actually.
yes. And so by Prabhupada's books, all this was revealed to me.
Yes.
All about these Jesus's teachings. And I was convinced by the philosophy, but I still considered myself a Christian. This thought to become Hare Krishna never crossed my mind. But because Prabhupada stressed devotee association so much in his books, and supported by logic and shastra and so on, with scriptures, I took it very seriously. And therefore I was searching for devotee association within Catholic Church. Yes. And this was also one of the reasons why my wife and I wanted to become missionaries. But when this idea of missionary was finished, then we wanted to join the Franciscan Third Order.
Okay.
This is quite unique, I believe, in Catholic Church.
This is like
Separate?
separate, like from Catholic Church. The
No,
Franciscan,
there are some how to say, orders, different orders within Catholic Church, and Franciscan order is one of the orders.
Okay.
These different monks come from different orders. They also dress differently. Some monks are in white, some monks are in black, some monks are
But
in...
the same philosophy, the same
philosophy,
teaching?
yes, same philosophy, but little different emphasis of and different approach, little different sadhana, that means little different practice, and so on.
Because we are not Catholic.
Yes, I know.
We don't know much about the Catholic Church.
Yes, so in Catholic Church you have many monk orders, and of course nuns are female orders, which are little different in practice and a little different in the emphasis of or focus of your prayers and spiritual life. But the same philosophy, and they're all under the rule of the Pope and so on.
And what is the specific thing about the order that you wanted to join?
I wanted to explain this. Saint Francis established two orders, one for men and one for women. This was for men was Franciscan order, and for women it was Clarissan order, because there was Saint Clara at the time of Saint Francis of Assisi, who also joined his movement, and she established female order of female version of Franciscan order. And because women always had separate orders, they were not included within these orders for men. So, but Saint Francis was so powerful preacher that everyone wanted to join him, and he was mendicant order, like sannyasi, going from door to door and completely bereft of everything. Yes, dedicated to poverty and so on, not accepting anything. So everyone wanted to join him because of his preaching. And once he preached in some court, and all the people from this court wanted to join him.
Wow.
And become poor mendicants.
Wow.
And he said that it's no need that everyone leaves this world. And so he introduced third order, and this was for married couples.
Wow.
Yes, and this, I believe, it is the only case in Catholic Church, the order for married couples.
Wow.
That means that married couples give the same vows, eternal vows, as they call it call them in Catholic Church. When you join some order, you give eternal vows, and that you will live by certain standards, that you will pray, that you will read the Bible, and so on. I don't know exactly in this way. So, because we planned to marry with my now wife, we wanted to join such third order for married couples.
Of course.
Yes. To be in association of devotees. This was my idea.
Yes.
I should be with devotees, associate with devotees, with those who are dedicated to God. And then I was really fired up with this idea and everything, and with prayers and so on. And then we went one time on this meeting of this third order. And there was also one lady there who said that she's there for the first time and she doesn't know why she's there, and she always was looking quite morose, in bad temper, and yes, dissatisfied with everything, like this. And at this meeting I was really disappointed.
Oh.
Yes, I was
Wow.
really disappointed. Even when I was when we were in this course for missionaries, I was disappointed because no one was spiritual. Spiritual understanding was not interested. No one was interested in really spiritual understanding. They were good in heart. They wanted to help others in need. This was their approach and philosophy, but no relation really with the Lord, or what to speak of deep relation of to the Lord, or to meditate or think about the Lord, the relationship with the Lord. This was too abstract for them, completely out of this world. So I was quite disappointed. And when I went to this meeting of Third Order, there I was speaking how we should completely devote our life to the Lord from morning till evening. In this speaking of Saint Francis, I used his language.
And they didn't like it.
And then one lady said that for me it is enough if I if I devote my day to the Lord in the morning and thank Him when in the evening, and that's it. And I was thinking, oh, such low class.
It actually is. It is like this.
I was really disappointed. And then in Franciscan spirit, I was explaining there how all different peoples of this world are glorifying the same Lord, regardless of religion. And because I was studying Prabhupada's books, I wanted to give some example from Prabhupada's books.
Wow, okay.
Yes,
nice.
because I considered myself a Christian. I didn't consider, even this didn't cross my mind to become Hare Krishna myself. But
You
I was
appreciate it.
I was studying different books, and I really appreciated this. And I wanted to give some example how even others are glorifying the same God and have the same philosophy as we have. And I said, for example, Hare Krishna. And then this lady who was really in a bad mood, she said, what? Hare Krishna? This is devil.
Oh,
And this was the last time I went there, and then I went straight to the temple.
Wow.
to the Hare Krishna temple.
To the Hare Krishna temple.
Wow.
And so I became a devotee.
What year is that?
That was in 1997. Yes.
So, then
So-
what happened when you first entered the temple? How did the devotees welcome you? And
I was going to the temple just to buy books before, but not in the temple room. I just went to
to the store.
Yes, to the shop to buy books. And yes, because I read in Prabhupada's book a lot of about Bhagavad-Gita. He was quoting Bhagavad-Gita. I wanted to have Bhagavad-Gita, but they didn't have it in Slovene. So I didn't want to buy any other version of Bhagavad-Gita. I wanted to buy Slovene book.
Oh, okay.
So and they said that it's in the process of translation. So I wanted to wait for the translated book.
Okay.
So I was coming regularly to the temple.
With your wife?
I don't remember. But when we left this Christian Third Order, we went together, yes. But for the first time, I think I went alone. And there I was really, really pleasantly surprised, because many devotees were serious in spiritual practice, and I liked this very much. And then I became fired up. I started to go to Mangalarati every day and so on. I had to drive with my bicycle several kilometers to come to the temple every morning, and it was strange. In Slovenia it was Mangalarati at 4:15.
Okay.
At the time.
Okay.
Yes, and it was a turbulent time in Krishna consciousness, because Harikish Swami fell down at the time. And suddenly from 50 brahmacharis in the temple just crashed down to, I don't know, 4 or something.
And you were at that time when there were 50 and then...
Yes.
Wow.
I was in this period.
Wow.
from 50 to 4.
Okay.
And we have deities on the altar, and it happened that I came there for Mangalarati and I was alone there. Not even Pujari was there.
Wow.
So actually, yeah, this was a big turbulence.
Yes, turbulent time. But somehow or other gave me shelter to this Krishna consciousness movement. And then I started to study more deeply Prabhupada's books, and so here I am now. I became a missionary.
Yeah, now you're a real missionary. You're
Krishna
traveling.
fulfilled your desire.
Yes. I'm not, I can say even Christian missionary, because this is also, Christ is one of our gurus, as Prabhupada says. So, and many times actually in my lectures I use examples from Christianity. Maybe you have noticed that.
Yes, yes. And now you're fully dedicated to preaching and traveling.
Yes.
Yeah. And your wife?
My wife is at home because we have also 16 years old daughter.
Oh, okay.
And she's still attending secondary school, gymnasium we say in Slovene.
Yes, like in Bulgaria, gymnasia.
Gymnasia, yes. In Slovene is the same expression, gymnasia.
Okay.
Yes. And this is from the age of 15 to 19, something like this.
Yeah.
Yes.
4
years.
Yes. 14 to 19 in
Or 14 to 18. Yeah. 4 years it
okay.
lasts from. We have 9 years of primary school, which is obligatory for everyone.
Yes.
9 years, and after these 9 years, you can go to work or to some secondary school.
Okay.
So she's now in gymnasium.
Okay.
Yes, attending gymnasium. She's second year.
Nice.
But she is studying now for a therapist. My wife, a psychotherapist, and for different therapies like marriage therapist and family therapist and so on, because there is much need in this Kali Yuga.
Yes.
for this kind of service also.
Yeah. Nice.
So this is my story.
I have a question because
okay.
you know that you like to run every day almost, and how, because sometimes I see devotees going, I will make the big body and the big muscles, and then we see others better devotees not taking care of themselves or whatever. So what is your advice for maintaining the body but not attaching yourself to the muscles and things like that?
Yeah, nice question.
Yes. We should understand that everyone lives in 3 levels of existence. We have body, gross body, we have subtle body, this mental level of existence, and we have, of course, we are souls. We have this spiritual dimension, which is most important. But we shouldn't neglect also these other 2. Krishna explains in 6th chapter of Bhagavad-gita, Yukta hara viharasya, Yukta cheshtasya karmasu, Yukta svapnava bhutasya yogo bhavati duhkaha. That if one wants to really dedicate to yoga or to spiritual practice, he should be balanced in sleep, in eating, in recreation, in work, and so on. If you're not balanced, then you will not be able to focus on yoga. And if you are balanced, then all your suffering will be mitigated. So, therefore, everyone should look after all 3 levels of existence. We should be healthy on bodily level, healthy on mental level, and healthy on spiritual level. it's a modern thing that people just sit down and do nothing. Yes, and just typing in some computer or anything like this. In the time of Lord Chaitanya, for example, they were extremely physical, we can say. Lord Chaitanya, for example, went for a tour to South India all by walking.
Yes.
Yes, on foot.
Yes.
Yeah, thousands and thousands and thousands of kilometers. And then he went from Jagannath Puri to Vrindavan and back. This is thousands and thousands of kilometers.
Yeah, big distance.
Yes, extreme distances.
Yes.
And Sanatana Goswami, for example, one of our greatest saints, he did performed Govardhan Parikrama every day.
Yes.
The whole Govardhan Parikrama, and this is 25 kilometers. But it is said that he was not living under Govardhan. He went from Vrindavan or somewhere. So I've heard that he walked 65 or something kilometers per day, every day.
Yeah.
65 kilometers. So much so that even when he was old, that Lord himself had to appear to Sanatana Goswami and gave him a Govardhan Shila, and he said, if you go 3 times around it, it will be counted as Govardhan Parikrama. Because it was his religious vow that he will go every day on Govardhan Parikrama. And Raghunath Das Goswami, who is our Prayojana Acharya, that means the teacher who teaches us about the most confidential goal of our spiritual life, he performed 3,000 full Dandavata obeisances a day, 2,000 to the Lord and 1,000 to the devotees. Wow. This is extreme exercise. Yes, and now people they don't do anything. Yeah. And there is a Latin saying, mens sana in corpore sano, a healthy mind in a healthy body. And this is quite true, actually. And also Prabhupada himself, when he had a stroke, he was taken to a doctor, and the doctor said, you pray too much. And the devotees were thinking, this is a quack, he doesn't know what he's speaking, and so on. But Prabhupada said, he's true. And at that time he started his regular walks. Yes. And he said later on that these walks, and he was extremely strict with these walks, even if the weather was really bad, that he couldn't walk outside, he was walking up and down in the aisle for his prescribed time, every day, without exception. And he said that these walks prolongated his life for 10 years. Wow. And in these 10 years, he saved us. So it's very important to keep physical health and fitness. Yeah. Because just to eat some healthy food is not enough. We have to be physically fit also, because our body is meant for movement, it's created like this. And if we disregard this aspect of our life will be hampered, and not just our physical life will be hampered, also our mental state will be affected, and because of this also our spiritual life will be affected. So we have to move, we have to be physically active very much. And not just by some work on the land, which is of course very good also, but we have, as Krishna himself says, we should also have some recreation and so on. So this aspect is very important. But of course, as everything, we should not get too much on body level. Then we neglect our spiritual level. and also this mental level, if we just go on the gross bodily level. That means if we go too much on this bodily level, I have to exercise to have big muscles and to be, I don't know, I care for my bodily well-being. It's like enjoying food too much. And then we become fat, and so it's imbalanced life again.
Yes, there should be balance.
Yes, there should be balance in every aspect of our life. So we should understand that spiritual life means to become God's servant. This is the essence of everything. And God's servant means that we devote our life on all levels with this idea. This for my service. So keeping fit for service is very beneficial. But overly, if we neglect our spiritual life because of focusing on physical fitness, then this is disservice again. But if we neglect our physical fitness because of some these other two dimensions of mental and spiritual, and then again it is disservice, because then we cannot perform properly our service. Yes. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. It was very nice interview about your story, and the answering of your question. His question was very, very nice. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.